Venus enters the watery and sensitive domain of Cancer on Sunday, July 17th, and until August 11th, we will be drawn to people, situations, and experiences that make us feel warm, loved, and protected. Let's take a closer look and break this transit down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you'd like to work with me, there's a link down below. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment. I really appreciate all of the interactions with you guys. This video is sponsored by Keen.com, a service that connects you with talented tarot readers and psychics that can help provide insights and understanding of your unique situation and help you find solutions to your problems. All you need to do is create an account and you will be able to choose from hundreds of readers online right now. I myself have gotten a tarot reading with them before and found it very helpful, so I highly recommend you get one yourself, especially right now when all new clients can get their first 10 minutes for $1.99. That's up to $70 in savings. You don't want to miss it. Go to trykeen.com/Anastasia or click the link in the description to save big on your first reading. So let's talk about Venus and Venus in Cancer specifically. Venus is the planet of beauty, attraction, harmony, accord. Venus is the planet that brings people together, brings things together that might be different and kind of not supposed to easily join and get along, but Venus allows us to harmonize things and it allows us to find more peace in our life. Whenever Venus is placed in a sign other than the sign Venus rules, Taurus or Libra, Venus behaves according to the rules of that sign. So Venus in Cancer becomes quite Cancerian, and it's sort of like staying at the temple of the moon because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So Venus in Cancer has resources provided by the moon, right? And like moon is connected to memory. The moon reflects the light of the sun. So similarly, moon is very reflective, right? And it might describe things that we care about, things that we feel nostalgic about. Moon deals with mothers. Moon deals with home and family and security and nurturance. So whenever Venus is placed in Cancer, it kind of deals with those matters, right? In a lot of ways, with Venus being in Cancer from July 17th until August 11th, we will be seeking belonging. We'll be seeking people, environments, things that make us feel like warm, protected, and like we belong. That's quite significant. By nature, Cancer is a cardinal sign, so there is definitely an energy of taking action. So Venus in Cancer operates from the point of view, it's also like a water sign, so it's an emotional sign, it's feminine sign, so it might be more receptive, but it's still action oriented. It's just not necessarily as direct as Venus in Libra might be. I mean, I don't know about Venus in Libra. I guess Venus in Libra can be direct, especially when it comes to like throwing a party and going out, but can also be very indirect, as we know. But there is a sense of like wanting to take action in the lunar realm. So when we feel like it, we really need to feel like doing things, like going after things, like creating certain harmony in our environment. That's when Venus in Cancer acts. There's usually, like I mentioned, topics of memory might be very strong, so we might feel more nostalgic for what has been once. Interestingly enough, the US has Venus in Cancer. It was created, the Declaration of Independence was signed when Venus was in Cancer, and the Sun in Cancer, and I believe Jupiter in Cancer. So it's like the US is very Cancerian nation. And it's interesting because Cancer season has been very eventful for us this year. I'm located in the US, in case you didn't know. But, you know, like the US and the fashion, for example, like being very cyclical and like bringing old things back. And also just the fact that so many leaders in the US have had strong Cancer placements. It's real, you know, look it up. There is a lot of Cancerian energy. And like, you know, some of the like popular shows, for example, like Friends is all about the joy of having support system. Even the song of Friends, right? Like, I'll be there for you. I need to look up the chart of Friends, but it's probably sometime in September because that's when they tend to come out. But yeah, like the energy of supportedness. Facebook, the place. Instagram, where we like sort of take pictures of our food, of our comfort items, and show it to the world, like our opportunity to maintain memory of things. So Cancer and Venus in Cancer definitely might make you seek joy in the past. Like your thoughts might naturally go towards the past. That sometimes is a struggle of Venus in Cancer too, because you may live in the past, you may love someone from the past, way past the expiration date. So be careful with that. Be careful that you're not getting stuck in the past. But definitely a lot of joy can be found in like tapping into like looking at family photos, maybe recycling an item from the past to be in your present home. That's another thing I think with this Venus and Cancer energy, we might enjoy nesting, building a comfortable home, maybe even spending more time at home. We're not likely, you know, Venus would have been in Gemini for a while, so like going out, socializing, hanging out with people. Here it's more about like the select few, not a ton of people. You want to be secure, you want to, you know, interact with people you care about, and it's not necessarily a ton of people. It's like familial, close relationships. Romantically, you're likely to desire an emotional partner, emotionally mature, loyal, sensitive partner. It might be just more naturally nurturing towards people in your life, which is lovely. You know, they might be more naturally nurturing towards you, so you can sort of have like this great, sweet, warm, romantic transit. You may benefit from familial topics. You may, around this time, benefit from familial, but also like, you know, like I said, like past energies. Maybe an old idea, maybe a childhood hobby sort of like comes into your life and brings you a lot of joy. Maybe you're reconnecting with a childhood friend. Family, your home can be like real estate. Food can be very significant right now. It can bring you a lot of joy and kind of sort of like benefit you, kind of sort of kind of. But yeah, like Cancerian lunar topics are significant. Of course, can talk about the benefits without mentioning the warnings a little bit, right? Like Cancer can be moody. So watch out for being moody, and that's okay to be moody, but make sure you're not taking your moodiness and turning it into like a passive aggressiveness in your relationship. Kind of try to be watchful of that. Cancer might struggle with feeling insecure and needing a lot of reassurance. And that's where like the passive aggressiveness can come in, right? Like someone's not giving you the attention you seek and you are not asking it directly, but you're being like, I haven't gotten flowers in like a month or 5 months, or like just kind of trying to express things more openly. Watch out for coming across as needy, clingy, codependent. Cancer and the shadow side of Cancer can be manipulative, so trying to get things from people without being direct. And there's also like a sense of anxiety sometimes when it comes to relationships, like as I mentioned, you know, needing a lot of reassurance. So try to be as open and as direct with people you love. And, you know, like if you need reassurance and your partner understands it, maybe you ask for it directly versus being kind of roundabout about it. It might be hard to not be roundabout, but try not to be. Childhood issues might be a lot more significant right now, like, you know, your childhood, your parents, their patterns, like their relationship patterns, how you may be using them in your relationships might be interesting to examine those things and sort of like take a closer look at your relationship patterns. And if you are feeling insecure, right, if you feel like you need more reassurance, try to direct some of the energy towards yourself. Work on nurturing yourself, work on giving yourself the love that, especially if you don't have this nurturing, supportive family system, might be a great time to focus on taking care of yourself. Can never have enough of taking care of yourself. But yeah, family, loyal relationships, stable relationships can be a big source of joy for you right now. Some of the famous people with this placement that are quite interesting are Ben Affleck. I guess you can see it in him in a sense that he has made films about his hometown. He grew up or spent a significant part of his life in Boston, Massachusetts, and he literally has a movie called, I think, like The Town, that is about, like, it's set in Boston, and probably more. Angelina Jolie has Venus in Cancer right on her ascendant, so obviously she's gorgeous, and she also found a lot of joy in having kids and adopting kids. So, you know, maybe you're also around this period, maybe you're enjoying spending time with children, and also just like questioning whether you want children and finding answers to those questions. Meryl Streep is a lovely example of someone who has been very successful playing mothers in her career a lot, and also just she's such like a protective mother, like she's so close with her family, with her daughters, and you see them a lot, and sort of very admirable. Donald Trump has Venus in Cancer, and his family sort of been like very significant to him. Definitely. You see that a lot. And then Clint Eastwood is very fascinating because he's been playing like with that nostalgia and memory and fascination of the past. He's like a perfect example of that because he's been playing Western characters and reviving the era that's been long gone. But it's lovely because there's like nostalgia, right, towards the time that's lost. So fascinating to see astrology in action always. So let's take Venus through all 12 signs and just touch on what you might expect. For Aries rising, Venus is going to be transiting your 4th house, which is very literal. Venus in Cancer in the 4th house of home and family. More joy from spending time with family. My Aries rising friend is actually traveling to see her family right around this time, so couldn't be more literal. She's like crossing the ocean to connect with her family members. You might be more nostalgic for the times you spend with your family, for your childhood, right? Like this might be a lovely time to redecorate your home or to bring some items that make you feel comfortable and secure into your home. And enjoying spending time at home, maybe being more introspective, more introverted, could be a part of this transit for you as well. For Taurus rising, Venus is going to be traveling through your 3rd house, and 3rd house deals with siblings, writing, schedule, communication. So you can expect to communicate with people in a more sensitive, nurturing, supportive way, almost like they are your family and you're giving them a lot of love and a lot of attention. Having ideas that are connected to the past, that maybe are somehow connected to family matters or women or children or people who are vulnerable and need help and attention, could be significant. Even like speaking on the behalf of those people could be important. You might enjoy spending time with your siblings. You might have more fun spending time with your neighbors and roommates, and sort of like even benefiting through them, right? Like maybe you're starting a partnership with a sibling or a roommate or a neighbor. And because your communication style is more nurturing and supportive, you may actually find yourself in a situation where you are solving conflicts and smoothing over difficult differences between people and sort of like stepping into a diplomatic role. For Gemini rising, Venus goes into the second house. So second house deals with money and values. And of course, Venus in the second house in Cancer will make you value one-on-one relationships a lot more, close relationships, relationships that make you feel secure. So you might find yourself spending time maybe with less large groups of people and kind of getting into more one-on-one relationships. Spending money on home and family becomes significant right now, as well as possibly making money on your home. Like if you are subletting your apartment, for example, or you are like, you know, making money on topics that are familial. Like your mom used to make the best cookies and you sell those cookies at a market. So definitely enhancing your finances, but also possibly like investing into things that make you feel more comfortable, secure, investing into beauty. Maybe it's something for your home, maybe it's something just like you're taking care of yourself. A lot of times Venus in the second house may bring you gifts. So something like, you know, a financial gift, literal gift from people, something that just comes to you very naturally without a lot of effort on your part. And as always, it's not just you getting gifts, it's also you giving gifts. So definitely some possibility there. For Cancer rising, I think it's the most lovely transit. I love Venus in the first house. So Venus being in your first house is the most magical time for manifesting things. It's the time you're most attractive. It's the time you're most appealing. You know, I mentioned Angelina Jolie has Venus in the first house conjunct the ascendant. This is your Angelina Jolie time. This is your time to shine. Of course, it's still Venus in Cancer, so it's likely to be very soft kind of appeal. You are like, I mean, yes, it's a cardinal sign, yes, it's active sign, but I think it might show up in a more subtle way where you're putting yourself out there, you are showing up somehow, you're showing up as more beautiful, as more magnetic, but you're not necessarily being like, hey, you, me, you, let's go. So maybe you're just sort of like softly inviting people into your life. It might be harder for you to deny yourself. It's actually a lovely time for you to upgrade your look, to color your hair, to get your manicure, get a massage, spend some money on yourself, upgrade your wardrobe. And similarly, actually, to Gemini rising, getting gifts from other people happens a lot with Venus in the first house. Like when Venus was in Libra, I got like free coffee. I mean, I guess I get free stuff relatively often. Not to brag. Sometimes I do. Nothing like huge and significant, but free pastries I do get a lot. People just want to feed me. Anyways, enough about me. But it's definitely like a lovely time for working with other people, for dating, for working on manifesting, for putting yourself out there and like presenting some kind of project that requires your charm and your visibility. Could be a great time. For Leo rising, Venus goes in the 12th house. So for Leo rising, this is more quiet. This is more like introspective. Venus is in your 12th house, sort of like making you question your past choices. Be wary of leaning towards the past loves. And maybe it's good, maybe you need closure, maybe you reignite some new passion quietly behind the scenes. All of Leo rising action romantically is likely to be hush-hush and quiet and hidden. But 12th house sometimes brings people into our life that are not so good for you. So be careful here. Be careful of getting in relationships with people who are not fully available, with people who cannot give you what you need, who cannot fully commit to you. At the same time, this could be a lovely transit for working with any past traumas, any relationship difficulties, and actually addressing things with a therapist and talking about them. And 12th house is also a very imaginative place. It's a place where you may get exciting ideas. So maybe you go swimming, or you go sit by the water and you get inspired and you write something or you paint something. So could be a great time to tap into your imagination and bring something forth from the subconscious into the real world. For Virgo rising, Venus goes in your 11th house. This is great for building familial relationships with your friends, for reconnecting with friends. I feel like Sun is in Cancer, right? Would have been in Cancer for a while. So you are already quite socially driven and socially oriented, but Venus entering your 11th house might create even more interactions, but sort of like interactions that are not necessarily big and loud and bold, but more about intimate relationships, intimate connections, going out with your friends to the water, having picnic with one or two friends, like building a more intimate, close relationship. It's the place of group projects. So maybe you are starting a group project, maybe you're volunteering on something that is very Cancerian, or like, you know, very Venus in Cancer, like helping women, helping children, some kind of charity for people going through a hard time. Could be significant. Maybe it's professional, where you're getting a chance to work with people who need help. And if, you know, there's always a chance with Venus transiting houses, there's always a chance of like romance coming your way. So if romance does come in, it might start as a friendship, or maybe it's romance with a friend. Let me know if that's happening in the comments below. For Libra rising, Venus goes into your 10th house. And this is great for professional expression. Lovely for putting yourself out there, being more visible professionally, asking people for favors, because naturally you have a better relationship with your boss and your colleagues, or even teachers, mentors. People are sort of like more willing to give you favors, and they perceive you as a peacemaker, as a diplomat. Because it's Venus in Cancer and it has that melancholic, nostalgic energy, you can really benefit right now from talking about family, from maybe even working with family. Or like you know, talking about family. It's interesting because like I think some of my like TikToks that I have lined up are very much about like lunar topics. I literally have a video dedicated to like the moon. If you don't follow me on TikTok, check it out. Anastasia Does Astrology. I'm on there. So yeah, like, and I'm a Libra rising. That's why I'm kind of bringing myself into the mix here. If you are a Libra rising, you know, because I always do that. So forgive me. So using like, you know, topics of childhood, topics like that feel very intimate, very personal to you, maybe sharing something about your personal life, could be highly beneficial for you right now. Doing work that you enjoy, doing work that is a lot of fun to you could be important right now. Being more creative, feeling more inspired, working with family, like I said, or working from home, could be quite interesting. Let me know if you are a Libra rising, if you foresee any kind of projects that become more creative and allow you to show up in a different way professionally. For Scorpio rising, Venus goes in the 9th house, and you would have had Sun in your 9th house from June 21st, right? I believe it's June 21st. So Venus in the 9th might encourage you to date a foreign person if you're single. If you're not single, this might be the time when you go on a trip, when you go on some kind of adventure, possibly an adventure with family or an adventure towards family, because it's still Cancer and you still want to be comfortable and secure. So it's some kind of trip towards family possibly, or a trip with family. And let me know if that's what you're planning to do in the comments below. But kind of like seeking to expand your relationships, seeking to travel towards people you love, maybe learning something about your family history, like, or literally taking a class in history, taking a class in female rights, being more interested, maybe being more involved in ideological and political debates you can see with this placement. Learning, definitely, yeah, like I see this very much as like you're learning something about your family. Maybe you're building a family tree. Maybe you're taking classes with people you love. Maybe you're traveling with people you love. Or maybe you're dating someone who feels very familiar to you. Could be. For those with Sagittarius rising, Venus goes in your 8th house, and Venus in the 8th is quite lovely for you getting things through other people, or for your partner getting things through other people, because that's what 8th house is. 8th house is shared resources, money that you don't necessarily make quite actively, money that comes to you in a shape of a loan, tax rebate, insurance payment, investment return. So with Venus in the 8th house, you may be getting those payments, and of course, you know, like adding a layer of Cancer, I wonder if those payments are connected to your family. Like, you know, a family member gives you something, or you receive an inheritance, or it's finances connected to real estate. Possibly, of course, you could be investing into something, like investing in real estate. Having more joy in relating on an intimate level, and also just kind of like feeling at ease when it comes to problem solving, because maybe you have had to deal with some kind of group dynamic, or you've been sharing your resources with someone else. Like, you know, maybe you moved in with a partner, and maybe you've applied for a loan or started like a joint bank account, or maybe you're going through a divorce and you're sharing custody and figuring things out. So Venus here could be very helpful for solving things easily, for compromising. And like I said, maybe it's your partner who actually benefits a lot through this transit and gets a pay raise. They might receive an inheritance, and you might benefit through them. And other people might also bring you opportunities. The opportunities, once again, that might be somehow connected to family, home, food, comfort, or they come from family. For Capricorn rising, this is also a very exciting transit, because Venus will be in your 7th house. So if you're single, ready to mingle, this is the time to put yourself out there, to start dating. You have more power to draw in a very sensitive partner, someone who will have that Cancerian energy. Might be the time when your relationship moves to the next level and you sort of find commitment in the relationship. Definitely changes to relationship matters. Smoothing things over might be significant right now. Being a peacemaker, being really good at navigating dynamics between you and your partner, wanting to go out on more dates, and collaborating with other people through partnerships, right? Like signing contracts with them, maybe other people bringing you contracts, and entering partnerships that maybe even feel somehow familial. And like, you know, energies joining forces with people who feel like family or are family could be a possibility here. For those with Aqua on the ascendant, Venus enters your 6th house. And Venus will be in Cancer in your 6th house. So you may find a lot of joy in cleaning your space and sort of decluttering and taking care of your immediate environment, creating a more homey feel. Having better relationship with colleagues and maybe having more familial relationships and investing some time into getting together with them could also figure quite prominently right now, and you naturally have a better understanding with your colleagues. Having like more joy, finding more joy in your daily routines and trying to, you know, kind of turn on the music when you're cleaning, get more massages could be significant right now. You might be more flexible and kind of like lazy and maybe not as inclined to work out, for example. Maybe you're more interested in like indulging into sweets, so be careful. Watch out for just like overdoing it and taking it too far. And working with other people right now, like having cooperative relationships, joining forces with other people, asking other people for favors could be quite significant. And maybe you're even working with your family member. Maybe you are, with Venus in the 6th house, you're likely to enjoy serving family members, and giving them your energy comes easily to you. And finally, for Pisces rising, Venus will be traveling through your 5th house. And this is amazing. This is really exciting because Venus is very happy in the 5th house. It has its joy in the 5th house, meaning 5th house is the place of fun, sex, creativity, making babies, hanging out with children. And Venus loves being in the 5th house. Venus naturally just enjoys the matters of the 5th house. So you can expect to be more creative, and possibly creative in a way where like you are maybe writing something, or you're painting something, or you're doing work that feels very significant, that might be connected to your past and your history or your family or your hometown. There might be kind of like a lot of benefits coming through that. Romantically, there might be new people coming into your life. You are more attractive. This is kind of like together when Venus is in Pisces, when Venus was in Pisces earlier this year. This like, and right now having Venus in your 5th house is great for romance, great for enjoying life and sort of like sampling. And like, I don't think you're going to necessarily want to date a whole ton of people with Venus in Cancer, but you can attract people. You likely to be more pursued and more kind of loved and nurtured and supported at this time. Children bring a lot of joy. Playing your favorite sport can be important right now because, you know, sports are not necessarily super creative, but they can be, and they're also something you enjoy doing. So with Venus in your 5th house, you might feel inspired and sort of feel called to try a hobby or try a sport that you really enjoy. This is all I have. I hope you found this video very enjoyable, and I hope it resonated with you. Definitely let me know what you thought, and if you're already feeling any of these energies, because we are in Cancer season and Venus just sort of highlights the existing energies and strengthens them, in the comments below. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.